Happy Friday everyone from F1 TV ÉIRE. I'm Tim Speed and I hope you're doing good. Red Bull's appeal has been rejected by the FIA after they deemed there was no new evidence presented since the Stewart's decision last Sunday. GPS data was submitted as well as comparisons again of Hamilton's line at the time of the incident and after the incident, as well as an attempt by Alex Albon during a filming day to copy the same line Lewis took to prove he was never going to make that corner. Bit of a weird instruction there by the team, since I think everybody who watched the race seen that Hamilton pretty much did make the corner, and if he didn't completely make it, definitely within track limit margins. While Max Verstappen says he won't change his approach to racing Lewis has pretty much the same attitude. He said that given the same circumstances, situation, track, corner, driver, everything, that he wouldn't have changed anything he'd done and he would do the very same again. He trusts his instincts and neither driver is looking to back off this weekend, so hopefully they can keep it on the track and we can get some good championship battles yet again. Both AlphaTauri drivers, Perez, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Latifi, and of course Russell and Bottas are all out of contract at the end of the season. Most fans are predicting another hectic, silly season, possibly beginning over the summer break. A strong start to the year from Gasly means he's pretty much 100% safe for next year. Russell continues to max the Williams beyond its limits in qualifying, and everybody thinks that he's due an upgrade, but when you think about Mercedes' perspective of it, it's an experimental season next year. There's a lot on the line, and there's a real race to be ahead of everybody else and to continue that dominance. So having somebody as experienced and as level-headed as Bottas could be a very important factor in who they consider for next year. So I don't want to think about Russell not getting a drive in Mercedes next year, because I really think it should happen, but it's kind of, I mean, when's Ocon going to get his Mercedes seat, so there's always a risk that it could just fizzle out into another horror story like the Red Bull Junior teams always do. 41 years old, unlikely to make an impact, hasn't really made an impact in the last couple of years on the grid. It could be back to the pits for good from Raikkonen. Same goes for his teammate. Both look unlikely to get offered new contracts from Alfa Romeo. Antonio Giovinazzi, he's been keeping his head above water quietly for the last couple of years. He's I suppose, done what is expected in a sense. But again, I think everybody can agree the passion and fire that we all associate with Alfa Romeo has definitely not shown itself at all since they made entry to the sport. So a little bit negative on that one. Alfa Romeo with just 10 constructors points in total over the last 2 years, so pretty bottom of the barrel stuff there. There's an old train going by. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but we'll wait till it goes by. And speaking of Alfa Romeo, everyone's favorite Pole from Poland, Robert Kubica, returned to the paddock there for practice today, and he fulfilled his responsibilities as test driver. So all the people saying that he shouldn't be doing it and he's old, you're probably right, but at the end of the day, he's a test driver, so he's working in a simulator most of the time and does a couple of practice sessions throughout the year, so nothing to get too worked up about. Although he was a lowly 18th, finished 3 seconds off the pace, which is not even worth mentioning. Verstappen's car, of course, had massive repairs since last week's big shunt. He ran for 21 laps, I believe, and he was reportedly very happy with everything. So power unit looks like it's all Red Bull's trouble with power units in the past, and they've continued to use one that's from a massive shunt. So it just goes to show how these engines are made, and I suppose how expensive and how important they are, that they can't just simply replace it after a 51G impact in Silverstone last week. McLaren are running some new updates around the Hungaroring, but they could only place 9th and 14th on the timesheets. Low to medium speed cornered circuits can be favoured by the Ferraris. This is what everybody seems to be saying, that Ferrari should be leading the midfield this weekend, but I suppose in the timesheets they were pretty decent. 4th and 7th I think Sainz was fourth. Yes, I have it here that Sainz was fourth. The top 8, in fact, of practice 1 are Verstappen with a 117.555, Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz, Gasly, Alonso, happy birthday, Leclerc and Perez, all separated by just over 9/10 of a second. I'm Tim Speed and this is F1 TV ÉIRE. Happy Friday folks, and enjoy the race this weekend. I'll talk to you tomorrow after qualifying.